Easter parades?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That would be kind of weird.
Are there Arbor Day parades or Columbus Day parades? No, there's not. There did used to be?
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of walking trees. Was it a Lord of the Rings parade?
Oof, God. I hope not. It's a terrible movie.
Fucking nerds.
Yeah, nerds.
So, guys,
Yeah.
I hate to bring this up,
Yeah.
but as you well know, I bet my life savings on the Super Bowl several weeks ago at this point.
What?
We know.
You did?
I did.
It's the first I'm hearing of it.
Where you been?
Man, anyway, that's rough.
It is rough. And you may remember I had a plan to solve my financial problems last week, and it was to come up with a new kids song.
That's right. Your
The
baby
next Baby
shark.
Shark.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember.
And I was all stoked. We workshopped it here. I was all ready to go. I met with the videographer and the choreographer. And the videographer's like, we can't do this. It's not woke enough. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. And so my baby shark plan is a no-go, basically.
Because it wasn't woke enough?
That's what she said. I don't know what
It's terrible, and she just couldn't say to you it was terrible.
Or she was jealous?
She may have been jealous, and if she steals it, I mailed a copy of the lyrics to myself in a letter, and I got that sitting in the desk. So she better.
I
not
heard
do
that that's not true.
For your copyright there?
Yeah. So I've been pushing hard and hard, trying to make my money back, and the stress is getting to me. It's like really getting to me. So I was on YouTube, like looking for solutions, and I found this video about napping. And I've discovered the therapeutic properties of napping.
So, well, what do you need from us? It sounds like you're getting to some point where you want something from us.
So, well, if I could get to it, that'd be great. So, discovered the therapeutic properties of napping, and I'm proud to say I've become an honorary member of the Rappin' Nappin' Grannies. Not to be confused with the gift Rappin' Nappin' Grannies, nor the Rappin' Kidnapping Grannies.
Wow. I have so many questions.
I don't have any questions because all of this sounds absurd. Because there's not even a place to begin with that.
So,
What makes you a granny?
That's where the honorary bit comes in.
oh,
They've seen me driving around town, so they're like, he's one of us.
are you driving around in a ghetto bike
Old
in a little
granny car,
hover around?
real slow,
I was wondering about the motorized wheelchairs. One of those.
taking forever when the light changes green. As part of being a new member, I have to host the Zoom call. We all get together on the Zoom call, and it's a little bit later tonight. So, anyways, most of the Zoom call is really just them trying to figure out how to mute and unmute themselves. But it's my job as the new member to host it, and part of the rapping bit is if you're hosting, you got to lay down your beats.
I was going to ask
You gotta
because,
spit some fire.
but yeah, okay. So you have any ideas for your rapping initiation?
I do.
Yeah.
Would it be cool if I workshopped it?
Yeah, of course.
I can't
That's what this
wait.
place is for, right?
I'm just gonna turn away from you so I don't see your faces.
Because I'm so
Actually-
hilarious.
Actually, I don't want to see their faces either.
People on the street are curious.
Well, my name's Jizz Money, and I got to say, I love Fruity Pebbles in a major way. Let me restart. Because I saw your face.
I tried to look away in time. I tried.
It's like Medusa. It's like I turned to...
Happens to a lot of people.
Well, my name's just Money, and I got to say, I love Fruity Pebbles in a major way, but I can't spend all day on the toilet crapping. I gotta hop in bed so I can start napping.
Boom. Chick, 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 chick.
What do you guys think?
I think it'll get you in the door.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This rap game's easy. All you gotta do is rhyme words.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Hello, last video store on the left. No, I do not have 8-pound balls. This isn't a bowling alley, Dick. Jeez.
God, how rude.
How rude.
And literally, the word video is in the title of the store, not bowling alley.
Kids today.
These kids, I tell you. It's my favorite people in the world. What are you doing today, everybody?
Oh, just listening to some. Listening to some rap music, some original rap.
Taking it all in.
I was. I hope I didn't. I hope I didn't disturb anybody. But I was watching your janitor friend like have a spasm of the mouth out or something outside. You okay?
I was dropping sick beats.
Oh, I love beats. I love beats in my Jack Daniels.
Beats in your Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
Like
give it some color, and it's good for your liver.
Sounds delicious. I love beets.
Hey, speaking of beats, you want to drink today? I got a little something extra for you guys.
What you got?
Guy, he told me it was. Wait, I forget what it's called now. Wait, no, I got it. He said it's called Nutty Irishman. It's got a ounce and a half of French Jellicoe and ounce and a half of Bailey's.
It's delicious.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a little sweet, but it's really good.
It's really good. I could drink that all night.
Yeah.
Wake up with a hangover tomorrow.
I don't get hangovers because of the beets.
Oh, that's good. But all that sugar seems like, ooh, sugar.
Yeah.
That was a good song.
It was.
Hey, I'm gonna rinse my mouth out. Back room. Be back. Hey, hello. How's it going?
Just be me, Paddy O'Flannigans. Oh, to me old shenanigans.
Oh, hey, Patty. It's been a while.
It has been a while, Patty. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you, lass.
Is it anything special you're here for today?
Oh, just something to remind me of the old country.
Don't make me sing Cranberries at you.
What's
In
that?
1916, in your head, they are fighting.
So we were talking about Puerto Rico?
That's my Cranberries impression.
It's like watching the Hindenburg just re-explode every 5 minutes. Oh, the humanity.
Hey, Patty knows
The
what's
wee
happening.
people.
Oh, the wee people. Well, Patty, I've got something that's going to brighten your day. We're going to give you something to help you remember.
A classic foreign language film.
Right. And maybe some of the old island countries. It is the 1993 film Leprechaun.
Which one would argue it was 1991 by the hairdos and the
clothing.
costumes.
Yeah. But maybe they shelved it for a couple years for reasons unknown. Who knows?
Because it's terrible. I mean,
Might be
good. Terribly good.
Yeah.
Is that the one starring Kathy Ireland?
No, Kathy Ireland is not in Leprechaun.
I kind of...
For fuck's sake.
This has a very young Rachel from Friends. This has a very young Jennifer Aniston on it. But it's confusingly, she's not that much younger than the guy she calls dad. So it seemed very awkward to me in this movie. That was definitely
But
one of those points.
he kind of passes for an older gentleman in the 90s, in the early 90s.
Did he though? Like hot dad, but she okay, we'll get to it. Let's get them. Let's start the movie.
Hopefully, you're not offended by this movie, as it's very possible if you're Irish, you could be offended,
Please don't be offended.
or offended by bad taste. That's probably the most egregious is the bad taste.
It's terrible taste. but it's
Terribly
great.
good bad taste.
Yeah,
Why would I want to watch this?
because
Why?
it's full of great 80s, early 90s actors who you saw in everything. And hello, young Jennifer Aniston. That's enough. Like
Yeah.
pre-nose job, Jennifer Aniston.
But still hot, and still not wearing a bra.
Yeah, but it didn't. They put her in more bras in that movie than they ever did on Friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Ever.
But she's got a unitard that she's wearing around the house, around the farm, or whatever.
It's a tank
hell
top.
It is.
It's sort of like.
It's a.
Where the snaps were down there.
Yeah, you think there was snaps
Is it?
down there?
Those early 90s snaps.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I know
you're getting
about those
sexy.
early 90s snaps.
This is taking a sexy turn.
I always had too long of a body for those things, and so they just like crept all up in there. It was
Wow.
terrible.
And we're back to not being sexy anymore.
That's my job. I love to
Cool.
ruin a mood.
Getting back to this hot dad,
Hot dad.
this rad dad, so to speak.
Are you gonna rap for us again?
It's close.
I don't think Patty could take it.
All right. Just Patty.
We have fun.
we did get a we did get a crowd on the street.
I appreciate you taking the piss, my friend. Right? That's something I learned from Patty. Didn't I use that right,
yeah.
Patty?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I'm glad I used that right.
Wouldn't want to offend Patty.
These days.
So this dad and Jennifer Aniston, the daughter, presumably.
Yeah, but why are we starting to talk about them? That's not where they start.
Okay.
It starts 10
Okay.
years in the past. Woo!
Good call.
Loo, 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 loo.
I will
So-
let you at it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I watched this movie recently because, there's a St. Patrick's Day in our future.
So it literally starts with this man.
I don't know that.
You don't know
Well,
that.
I mean, fingers crossed for the three of us at least. There's going to be, right? Jesus.
It starts off.
Wow, guys.
I want to say it's an old and a dark and stormy night. And this guy's supposed to be older, but he's probably in his 40s.
He was wearing an obvious toupee as well, and I thought that was going to come back in some fashion. Like, I thought that we would revisit his hair thing.
That hair was very dark for an older gentleman.
It was sitting on his head like a dead raccoon. And Mr. O'Grady comes home from his mother's funeral in Ireland and shipped himself back her ashes.
So he's so excited, and he puts this box up, and he rips off the packaging. And there's like it was not packaged well. He like rips out like a couple of wadded up like little pieces of paper, and then pulls out this really fragile urn. So, but he takes it, he rips it off, he rips it open, he pulls out this black urn, and then immediately, it's my grandmother's ashes or whatever. Then there's mom's ashes, and smashes it immediately, and she's freaking out. What are you doing? And there's a sack in there, much like the sack Indiana Jones has in the first Raiders when he's trying to get the idol.
It's a little bit of a stretch.
Kind of similar sack.
little bit.
If you're trying to
It's
judge,
like-
if you're trying to judge sacks,
It's like every fantasy story ever bag that holds gold.
that holds something. Yeah, gold.
I think Harrison's Ford sack swung a little more.
yeah.
Probably.
Sack.
It had more malleable.
It was a little looser.
Yeah, definitely. Had more
Walnut shaped.
Yeah.
more flexibility. It was walnut colored for sure. So he takes this big black sack out, and he digs inside of it, and he pulls out all these gold coins. And he's rifling through the gold coins that he pulled out of this black sack. And he's just like throwing them around. He's all loose with them. They're hitting the ground, which is always disturbed me.
Yeah, he was very.
Cavalier.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
He was very cavalier with those gold coins.
And how did he cash in those gold coins to get the limousine to get home and like
Where are you going to take him?
and
Antiques
if he
Roadshow?
spent them, then why didn't the leprechaun come after him and the rest of his gold?
I think he probably had cash that he wouldn't normally spend on a limousine.
But
Do we
knowing
re-
he had
do
that
we
cash.
remember?
Haha, spelled differently.
So he's got the coins. He's at home now with Mrs. O'Grady. How did the leprechaun did he just show up? How did this happen again? Do we remember? I think he just materialized somehow.
Yeah.
It was like, I think it was one of those like Jason cameras from Friday the 13th. It's like all of a sudden this like, little tiny miniature camera, point of view, POV walking around with a little
Yeah,
breath.
that's so funny. I don't remember if he materialized
Yeah,
or if
he was
he
just there.
showed up in. Like, wow, none of us actually
Isn't that
remember.
crazy?
That is crazy. Because we can remember all the details about the dude and his fucking coin bag.
And then all of a sudden
like,
there's a fucking leprechaun there.
But we don't remember, like, the entrance.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he like go to the bathroom to like soak his feet or something from traveling, and like the wife was like making tea?
As the Irish do. Yeah, the
Like-
wife was
like
making
the-
tea. Yeah.
They split up.
He was in the.
Well, he went down to the basement for some reason, and that's when I think or maybe it was because of a noise. Maybe the
Oh my god. Anyway.
yeah. It's
Cut
impossible.
to.
Cut to.
The leprechaun he can throw his voice, and he's a pretty good mimic.
That's
So
right.
He's doing like a kid's voice, like a
Help
Trapped
me!
in a.
child's.
Yeah, trapped in
Yeah.
a suitcase. And he got the
That's
wife.
what it was.
So
It was
the
That's
wife
this,
right.
Just like
That's
it was
right.
the suitcase. Yeah.
Yep.
So stowed away from a suitcase from Ireland. He was mimicking a child's voice, and the wife went over, and he busts out of the suitcase, and then he says some weird shit about his buckles on his shoes, and a bunch of a weird sequence of him getting out of the suitcase because obviously no one can fit in a suitcase, and that they lack the technical ability film wise to showcase that.
they did some Orson Welles like sawing the floors to get him in there.
And he comes off and he says something probably very racist about me buckles and the buckles and
And the famous Warwick Davis of Willow fame plays our leprechaun friend.
of Ewok fame.
He is a menace, this fucking leprechaun. He's mean, evil. He's an evil leprechaun.
Most leprechauns are like tricksy.
Yeah, not
But-
flat out evil.
Yeah, but
No, this one, his face.
he got brought up the wrong way.
Yeah. We're spending a lot of time on this bit.
Yeah,
we
this
got a
is
long
taking
way
forever.
to go. I know. Whew.
Sorry, Patty. Anyway, fast forward, he kills these two bastards.
He almost kills him. He kills the wife.
Oh,
he
you
doesn't
think they're
quite
dead.
kill the husband. The husband goes and gets a 4-leaf clover that he then chases down the leprechaun with and apparently wards him off. Gets him into a crate,
No,
hammers the crate
He doesn't
shut.
get him into a crate. He shoots him. He put it's like kryptonite, this 4-leaf clover, and he puts it up to him, and the leprechaun's all freaking out, and he pulls his pistol and he's shooting the leprechaun. The leprechaun falls over dead, and he picks up this ragdoll little person. It's really kind of shocking and weird. Stuffs him in a box, and you hear the leprechaun say something like, "It'll take more than bullets to keep me away." And then I guess he just was unconscious because in the box he comes back to life, and
Yeah, it's almost like he's a vampire.
Right.
And that's garlic.
Right.
Or
A
maybe
cross.
a cross on top of the box.
keeping
That
him
weakens
down.
him.
Yeah,
So Grady tries to set the place on fire.
and fails miserably.
He has a stroke and
He had
fails.
one job.
Yeah, and he fails.
Well, I think as he's dousing the whole place in gasoline. The leprechaun places a hex on him to have a stroke, and then he can't light the match because he's having a stroke. And then we flash forward 10 fucking years.
And now Jennifer Aniston with her poofy bad blowout, because that's another reason why I know it's 1991, because they did not know how to blow out thick hair they didn't know how to make a smooth blowout in 1991. Very few people understood the technique, and whoever did her hair on that movie did not know how to do that technique. She was a poofy mess.
Just as human beings, we didn't have the technology at that point.
Okay, anyway, so she had a big honker and
some
poofy hair.
Some sick LA gears, but we'll get to those later.
Oh my god.
Oh, she goes to the country house in fucking heels. Oh my god, this whole thing is ham-handed. She shows up to the country house with her dad in heels.
They bought this house. Young dad and her have bought this house. They show up from LA out in these like dusty fucking woods of the fucking
of Los Angeles.
west exactly East LA. East. I'm just kidding. East of LA.
Outskirts of LA.
Anyway, yeah, she shows up in her heels with her fucking
Yeah, on
handbag.
a farm. So, and it's just weird. It's just so weird. And then they go to great lengths to tell you that and show you that she's from the city and she doesn't want to be here. And he's a handyman dad, and they're gonna fix this place up.
And she's gonna go stay at a hotel, even if she has to spend her own money.
It was kind of a Green Acres bit.
Yeah, but what was the spending her own money shit?
Yeah.
Where'd she come? Where money?
I don't understand the relationship dynamic.
Yeah, weird. It was weird. I mean, yeah, was she estranged, or why are they going there? There was no purpose for them to go there. Maybe there was, and we lost it. That's probably one of the many things that was lost.
It's like, is she employed?
Yeah,
Is
like
she
was
living
she
with dad if she has so? Why is she living with dad if she has so much money?
right?
Like,
Was this
what's
just
going
a weekend trip?
So then
But-
when she decides to, first of all, the house is boarded up, and there's way too many cobwebs everywhere. It's like people trying way too hard to make a haunted house. She decides to leave. In the basement, the crate is still hammered shut with the old crusty 4-leaf clover on top.
But instead, she runs into hot painter guy outside.
Yeah, like weird, out of
whoever
nowhere.
the fuck that guy was, with his empty bucket of paint thinner, and his
And his hot ass.
his of mice and men brothers, right?
No, we don't meet them yet. We meet him first, the hunky guy.
Were they related? Those
I thought they were all related.
Okay.
Oh, were they?
I don't know. I thought they were.
I think they were just business partners.
How are they all busy? One was an 8-year-old kid.
I don't know.
3 guys
I
painting.
didn't write the fucking thing.
He was a go-getter though. That 8-year-old.
Oh man, he was an
He had
asshole
his
actually.
shit together. He's like that kid from Over the Top, like he was a ninja,
Right.
for business.
So she runs into Hot Painter. She insults him. Then she decides to stay because Hot Painter. And she goes to take Hot Painter. Okay, now jump to she's taking Hot Painter some juice in the basement. He scares her accidentally. She drops the juice on the crate with the leprechaun. Bum, bum, bum.
But the leprechaun's like already awake. He's got like some film noir shit happening with his eyes. He's just in the crate and it just lays across his eyes. He's like, ah.
It's kind of like Interview with the Vampire, where like Tom Cruise is like staying alive on rats,
Yeah, that's right. He's staying alive now on iced tea.
just alive enough.
Yeah. So
On Purple Drink. Or Sunny D. One of
they
those.
go upstairs. He helps her. I don't know. Then we meet the
two other kids.
of Mice and Men characters.
Right. Which one
Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure and
of them? The kid from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
what did we just watch? With Francis in it. And I was like, that's Francis.
My chauffeur.
My
Yeah,
chauffeur.
my chauffeur.
Duh.
Mark Holton.
And there was a limo at the very beginning.
Could have been the chauffeur. I think there's a
You never
crossover.
know.
And so these two.
This is actually the sequel to My Chauffeur, but no one has said anything. Because Mark Holton in My Chauffeur was in the country, living in a country house. Maybe he had a farm accident that made him,
Maybe.
and he took up a job painting.
Yeah, maybe he didn't know who he was and he wandered off into the woods and met some girl and they just stayed there.
Huh?
I mean, whatever. So, anywho, the kid and Francis, whose name I don't remember, are like comic relief. They're like the bumbling characters.
Sort of Two Stooges.
Yeah, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, kind of.
Fair
like, you know.
So we call them the Mice and Men characters because basically the bigger, older one,
This is John Malkovich.
basically he seems challenged a little bit.
And the little 8-year-old Scary Sinise.
Yeah, basically, yes. Absolutely.
Okay, so good job on
So
those.
it's happy. It's a happy story.
Yeah, but anywho, they do what? He goes into the basement. Y'all got me all confused with what even movie we were watching, Gary Sinise. Jesus Christ. Lieutenant Dan. Get some legs already.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm just
wow.
kidding. I went real dark. I just did. It happens. I apologize to Gary Sinise.
You should apologize to Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Gary Sinise got legs.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant. But I hate that character. I do not care for
Anyway,
that character.
Okay, so
Francis.
Goes to the basement, leans over because he hears something in a crate. The thing in the crate reaches out and chases him down. And
Well, the thing in the crate was mocking a voice again, like a little boy or a little girl that was trapped in there.
Oh, yeah.
And he puts his head down. And for some reason, the leprechaun bursts through the crate when his head's down there, but he couldn't just burst through the crate at any other time?
Francis knocked off the...
Yeah,
that's correct.
He floated
You
to
are
the
correct.
ground.
That son of a bitch.
So he was free.
He was
So
free.
now that he's free, he decides to go after Francis.
He's like, where's me gold?
demanding his gold. Francis has no idea, so the leprechaun leaves.
Well,
Lets Francis get up.
does he beat him up or bite him or something first, or no?
He eats a giant bug.
Oh, yeah, he eats a...
Like the biggest bug you've ever seen in your life.
He lets Francis go.
I think this comes back to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Those bugs. Those are the bugs he
Yeah.
eats.
It's big.
They go outside. I just saw a leprechaun. Right? Francis goes outside to tell the adults that he
Right.
just saw a leprechaun.
But no one believes him because, he's got some challenges.
Active imagination.
Right.
Then he sees in the sky, there's a rainbow. It's the middle of the desert in California. Like, what? Anyway.
He takes everybody
What?
down to show him the leprechaun.
Yes, he does.
And it's the classic Hollywood switcheroo with the cat, except this time it's with a rat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
there's-
oh, Francis.
There's a PA on the side that just like threw a rat on the fucking set. And they're like,
But they did chase something out into the woods and then that's when they heard a cat sound.
yeah.
So I would say things escalate actually pretty quickly, which is a cool thing about this movie because the leprechaun runs into the woods. Everyone's concerned what it is, and it starts making a cat sound. So they go to investigate, and naturally, they see a tree trunk with a hole in it. So, of course, you're going to stick your hand in that hole to see if you can pull out this cat.
Wait, first they go after the rainbow. They go after the rainbow. The rainbow takes him to the truck.
Oh, yeah.
The truck has the gold.
Honestly, it's a blur, okay?
Okay?
It's all a
'Cause
big
they have
blur.
to get the gold because then Francis accidentally eats the piece of gold because he thinks it's a piece of fucking wrapped candy gold. So
To be fair, if I was 8 years old and had the brain of an 8-year-old, I'd probably taste it too.
Okay,
I don't
well-
think I'd swallow it whole, but
So he swallows a piece. They decide they're going to hide it in the well by the house. Of course, there's a well, like with a bucket and everything. And so they hide it up there. Now the leprechaun comes for Jennifer Aniston, and she thinks it's all sexy time with the hot guy because it's like rubbing on her ankle under the truck. And then she sees that it's not him. And then she gets scratched under the truck. Oh my God, I got scratched. It was probably just a possum, right?
Yeah.
Or a raccoon.
It's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me. So they think it's some kind of animal or something, and that's when they chase it to the tree, and she freaks out because she thinks the hot guy's playing footsie with her or something. And by the way, this is hilarious because the whole time they're like painting this house like this horrible royal blue.
Ew, it's blue with red shutters. It's so dumb.
The inside of the house looks like a demilitarized zone. It's fucking terrible. But the first thing they're doing is painting the outside, and then they have these like perfectly placed swaths of paint on their skin and their face.
The production value. The production value is lacking.
But he's like right behind Jennifer Aniston, like literally showing her how to paint a fucking plank of wood on the house. It's goddamn ridiculous.
yeah, but he's got
it's hilarious.
his wiener leaned right up against her butt.
Right up against that butt.
Yeah.
That onesie. She's got on. So they chase the cat or possum or raccoon.
So now he gets out. Is this before the shotgun?
Yeah, because now shit's gotten real because she has a massive, deep wound on her ankle.
So they chase down the cat noises into a tree trunk. It bites the dad.
Yeah, so obviously the dad's like, I think I got him. And it bites him like if you ever seen a cat bite you, this is way worse.
So they have to get to the hospital. Instead of using the Jeep that they came up in from Los Angeles.
that new awesome red Jeep.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They try to use the broken down like
Painter's truck.
painter's truck that needs the
With all the shit in back and it doesn't start right.
yeah, that's the one. They decide to take that one to the
Because
hospital.
duh.
But then they go to the hospital, and the boys decide to go sell a coin because there's a collectible coin shop in town.
Right. It was just about to close when they got there. And
Thank
they're like,
God.
wait. And they show him the coin. And he's like, oh, okay, let me stay open for a few more minutes.
Thank God the dad's okay. We never see the dad again. He goes to the hospital.
Yeah, that's true. We never see the dad again.
We don't.
We
do
don't.
Holy shit.
He
He's
never
like,
comes
"Fuck this
back."
movie,
Yep.
Fuck y'all.
Yep.
I'm out.
Yep.
He's obviously getting some kind of really serious treatment in the hospital for the rest of the time.
Go find another rad dad. I'm out.
And they wait for the boys to come back.
At a diner and
And
pretty
this leprechaun comes to town in a Barbie car, in a baby.
No,
He's
in
on
a
the tricycle
tricycle.
still. He's on the tricycle.
dude, this movie's got so many comic relief moments. I mean, he gets on this tricycle in the barn. He finds it, just a random tricycle.
I think the tricycle may have been a little tasteless.
I think a lot of it's tasteless, to be quite
The
honest.
whole thing is tasteless.
Yeah, it's a tasteless fucking film.
I think perhaps they went too far with the tricycle. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think they went too far with the Barbie truck. Okay, the orange truck
Now
lowrider.
Now you're jumping ahead. So they go to this.
Gotta get to it.
We go to this coin shop, which is also happens to be like a pawn shop, collectible shop, everything, whatever you want shop. Because if you're writing the film, you want that.
You
handy.
need a Barbie truck.
Right.
I think originally, instead of A Dark and Stormy Night, it started at the old magic shop. In rewrites, they switched it up.
Too bad.
That would have been good.
So
they go in. The guy's like, "Oh, I've never seen this." He's consulting his book. He's looking at this thing with intensity. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to make some calls. You're gonna have to. Can you leave me this overnight, and I'll get it back to you tomorrow?" Well, okay.
Well, when does he chase them through the fence where he ends up like the
that's later.
cutout of
That's
the
coming.
leprechaun?
That's coming. It's not get crazy.
Spoilers.
I'm sorry.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Oh, Mildred.
Hi, doll. How are you?
It's almost St. Patrick's
What are you
Day.
sucking on there, dear?
Something cold and wet.
Oh, that's delicious. It looks so foamy and delicious.
And wet.
And wet. Well, it's a drink. They're wet. You gotta wet your whistle. That's why they say that.
That's a really interesting point. Thank
Yeah.
you.
How are you all doing today? You okay?
Doing good, Mildred.
That's good. I'm returning the sack and me. It was okay. It was a little boring, I found, but you know.
A little ball boring.
Yeah, that was boring. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me, I guess. I think it was more one of those artistic films. So,
Sounds boring.
yeah, I like more of the shoot 'em up action stuff, you know. The pew pew. That's
Then-
what the kids are saying, right?
Go in the back room behind those swinging doors and find anything with a pistol on the cover. That should do ya.
All right, well, I'll take your word for it. I'll go back there and search around.
Or a shotgun.
Shotguns, that's crazy. You know, I once heard War of the Worlds by Orson Welles, and they had shotguns in that. Maybe it'll remind me of that.
What a delightful memory.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't really fun. Everyone was losing their minds. But, you know,
right,
when it
of
was
course.
over, we had a good laugh about it.
At least you could laugh about it afterwards.
All right, dear, I'm going to go check it out.
Ma, Pa, listen to the radio.
The Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican
I know the
radio.
This whole thing is all racially insensitive. Leprechauns, Mexican
Isn't
radio.
St. Patrick's Day racially insensitive?
It's an American thing, I think, isn't it?
Which makes it like a cultural appropriation.
Have you ever seen the mascot for Notre Dame? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Patty's right here.
Yeah, Paddy is right here.
He's agreeing with me. He's nodding his head.
He's nodding his head while he's sipping from a little metal canister.
So,
You all right?
Yeah, where the fuck were we?
at the diner,
Okay.
he's trying to force her to eat meatloaf.
And this diner is out of like an MTV like music video, like Aha's on the other side.
And why
That
did they
girl's
go-
actually serving them.
Why did they go back to the house?
They're
Why
waiting.
did-
They're waiting on. Oh, I don't know. They're because
They didn't know there was.
They
a
thought it was a
leprechaun
cat.
at that point.
They legitimately thought
Your
it was a
father's
cat.
in the house. I mean, the hospital because he got bitten at this house.
Obviously,
by
he's
something
fine.
rabid.
Well, when they get back, she's like, "I'm out of here. I'm gonna go."
Yeah,
to
but
the
you
hotel."
could have just
She had to drop the guys back off.
Look, have you ever been in that position before? I don't think so. When you've got crazy cats in a blue house with your LA gear,
She had to pick up her purse.
right?
Okay. So we're back to the
So,
house.
They're at the diner waiting on
Oh, the kids.
Lenny
The
and
kids come
Squiggy.
back, and the leprechaun drives off from the pawn shop. And
Wait,
what's
you're skipping over some major stuff here.
oh my god, this movie.
So, the pawn shop guy's like, "Hey, come back tomorrow. Let me keep the coin." So the guy's like, "All right," and they go back and they meet everyone at the diner. In the meantime, tricycle racing little leprechaun comes up into the pawn shop, and in the back we hear bling, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, oh shit!
What's that noise?
I thought it was going to be the front door bell, but it was actually the tricycle bell, which was
The
same thing.
tricycle bell means that he's coming, huh? Here he
he's
comes.
coming.
Kind of sounds like this.
No, that's the doorbell.
That's our door. But it
Why you
kinda
gotta play with the doorbell
It
like
kind of
that?
sounds like that. Anyway,
Gets me all hyped up.
So what does he do? He charges this guy and trips him up and hits him with something, and it bites his leg, and then he goes for the
pogo stick.
obvious instrument of death in a pawn shop, which is the pogo stick.
That's right.
You gotta, if you're gonna kill a motherfucker, you gotta do it with a pogo stick.
It's kind of the biggest insult way to kill somebody.
Stay there, I'm
Like,
coming.
I could literally kill you with anything
Right.
at this point.
I could kill you with this butter knife, but the pogo stick.
But the way they shot it was probably like they ask you, the audience member, to just accept that he killed that guy with the pogo stick because they show nothing at all.
They do too. They show you boom, boom, boom. He's on the guy's chest, and then he's like, his face is all like, oh. There's a bunch of violence in that scene. So bullshit. They don't show you stuff.
There's a bunch of implied violence. in
There's
that scene.
fucking blood packets spurting everywhere.
Blood packets being the key word. It's beautifully awful. It's beautifully awful. Maybe not beautifully. It's acceptably awful.
So he gets his gold coin back,
He does.
and he's ready to go back for more.
But-
But he's also looking to upgrade.
That's right.
He didn't care for that tricycle either.
He did not. So thank God he's in the right place because he sees like
Low rider.
is it a Barbie Corvette? I don't know. It's
No,
like
it's a lowrider.
yeah, it's
Because
like
he puts his tricycle
in the back.
and-
In the trunk.
yeah, he did. He had it in the back of it.
It was like an El
Put my
Camino.
bike
Yeah.
in your trunk.
It was like one of those little battery powered cars that kids would get, except it was really high, really like tuned up, souped up, and it has a back. So he put a tricycle and what else? The pogo stick was back there.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
He
He put
did
the
it again.
case.
Then he got pulled over by a cop, and the cop told him to take that kid. Listen, kid, take that mask off. And so, hideous mask. That sent the
cop-
leprechaun over the edge.
That's
the
right.
leprechaun came for him at that point.
Yeah, don't talk about my face.
Yeah, my face.
So the cop leans over and he grabs the cop's face and like scratches the shit out of it. Does he pull out of his eyeball yet? No, that was the other guy.
My God.
No, that was the cop, but that's later. There's a lot of scraping and eyeball pulling. So the cop's running in the
All
woods.
he has on his side is that hand, those clawed hands.
He basically, the cop doesn't the cop gouge him in the face with the nightstick and then he grabs the eye. He grabs the cop's eyeball and pops the eyeball out and puts it in his own. That's later probably.
That's later.
Man, it's just all running together.
Yep.
It's all running together.
There was this whole big long scene in the woods where they're kind of playing hide and seek, and at one point, the leprechaun's chasing the cop, and then at one point he wants the cop to chase him.
Yeah, it's silly.
It
It's
didn't
the
make-
woods from Heathers.
Yeah.
It's like every early 90s, late 80s
Woods.
movie
Outside
wood
of LA.
scene. Yeah. So then he kills a cop.
He snaps his neck. He comes back down on him like cop thinks he's safe, and he's just sitting there in the woods. He's like, "Oh God, I'm okay." By the way, this whole thing is hysterically funny. This is like some crazy high form of comedy because when you watch this leprechaun run, honestly, you just feel bad. You feel kind of bad for him. It looks like it hurts
does
to
look
run.
like it hurts Warwick Davis to run.
Yeah,
And there was a lot of running.
a lot of little running.
Like Tom Cruise doesn't run this much in the movie.
So this guy, it's like, come on, you got the leg space. You can beat him on foot. Like if you want to run back to your car and just take off, you can.
Yeah, it was a lot of like, okay,
They
suspension.
expect a lot from the audience, I think.
Yeah.
So he ambushes the cop from the tree, snaps his neck, and he's off to the farmhouse and back to getting the people that he wants to get the gold from.
He's got to get that gold.
Got to get that gold.
He chases him down. They basically give him the gold back, don't they? Jennifer Aniston figures out where the gold is. What happens? This is, see, if you had asked me yesterday what happened, I would have been able to tell you.
Well, they get back, and now it's on. Now it's on like Donkey Kong. They got him in the house. They realize there's something terrorizing them. It could be a leprechaun. And I think the guy
They get that shotgun.
they get that shotgun. The guy goes out, and he
shoots in the woods a bunch of times.
he steps in a bear trap because the big strapping man has to be, hurt in some way, wounded in some way. He gets down, but he doesn't. He gets a shot off, and he pumps one into the Leprechaun's chest, and everyone else tries to get the
This is a pretty good squib. A lot of
Yeah.
green blood.
lot of
shot
green
out.
blood.
Is it over? Are they dead? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. Because he shoots that shotgun like 14 times before that happens. After that happens, like 14 times without reloading the gun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shells.
Like, how
I
does
think
that...
I got him. But he didn't. So they go back inside. Then they go back outside. Then they go back inside. There's a lot of running around, a lot of hide and seek and silly games.
And so Jennifer Aniston comes to terms with it actually is a leprechaun.
That's right.
She didn't want to believe Francis.
That's right.
And so she asks the kids tell her the gold's in the well. She goes out to the well.
Because leave it to a woman to save the day.
Fair enough. The well conveniently was lit with green light, so she knew exactly
right.
where to go.
That's right.
She pulled the gold up. The leprechaun teleported to her instantly.
Yeah. Oh,
Give me my gold.
by the
Yeah.
way, the leprechaun can teleport. Oh, we totally glossed over the part where how they found it was in the well. They had to go find Mr. O'Grady, who's in a nursing
No,
home.
the kids told him it was in the well. Mr. O'Grady comes
Oh.
later after this.
God, this movie is a mind fuck. It is a mind fuck. It will fuck your minds. You think you know what's going on, and you're rolling your eyes, and you're laughing, and then you just get it all
This
confused.
is like the Pulp Fiction version.
It
Yeah.
is.
We just do them in different parts. They're all mixed
right.
up.
It's all right.
They're all mixed
Out
up.
of
It all makes
sequence.
sense
Out
at
of
the end.
sequence.
So the kids fess up, and then
It's in the well.
Well, yeah. So she gets the gold, gives it directly to the leprechaun, and he's happy as can be, seventh heaven. And he's counting me gold.
98? 99? 99?
Yeah, one fucking piece of gold, you greedy
You
bastard.
stole my gold! You tricked me! La la la!
Where could that missing piece be?
In Francis's
And
bum.
Francis.
Francis.
See, I still like your idea, Johnny, where in order to get that, they literally all just wait for Francis outside. In the Leprechaun, everyone just waits for Francis outside the bathroom.
So yeah, so I rewrote the script where the leprechaun starts to terrorize him again. It's like, whoa, wait, he swallowed it. He didn't mean to. We're not trying to hide it from you. Let's just let this happen naturally. And the leprechaun's reasonable. And so they just all wait, sitting outside bored with their arms crossed,
Nice.
just waiting for
Feeding
the
him
gold to come.
dates. They should be feeding him dates or like
That's a good
drinking
call.
Metamucil.
Prune juice.
Yeah.
They could have some fun little moments there. So,
Tell a
Leprechaun.
joke, maybe?
Yeah. So where you from?
So none of this happens in this movie.
Oh, for Puerto Rico.
He could be. Rum drinking.
But that does not happen.
buddy.
This leprechaun is
Little
angry,
buddy.
and he wants his gold back. So they concoct some kind of diversion, and they get out there. And then Jennifer Aniston gets in the one working vehicle and takes off to find old.
No, wait.
Old
Which word?
No, wait.
O'Grady,
Wait.
or the only working vehicle. The
Whatever. They
bear-
go
I
to
don't know.
O'Grady. They go to
The
the
paint
nursing
truck.
home.
Yes.
She goes to the nursing home. The leprechaun follows her. She gets to the nursing home. She goes and thinks she finds O'Grady. It's not. It's the leprechaun. Oh my God. She runs from the leprechaun. She gets in the elevator. And who falls out of the elevator but Mr. O'Grady, who's almost dead? O'Grady says, the only way that you can kill them is to find a clover. 4-leaf clover. And she's like, oh my God, but where will I find a 4-leaf clover? And he's like, duh, in a clover patch. And she's like, well, where's a clover patch? He's like, by the well. So she goes back to the house, pulls that Jeep up in the yard, and she knew right where it was because there was a green light shining on like a 4x6 patch of ground. So she,
A 4x6 spray painted.
And it was like
Green-
Technicolor.
Oh,
green.
yeah.
That thing was.
It was
green.
Wizard of Oz green.
I think that we used to have a floodlight like that in my like jungle backyard that was like motion censored. So when you'd come home, it wasn't so bright that it would bother people inside, but it was bright enough to light up the
could see
backyard.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
My
that
favorite
green
part
light.
is when the characters lean down to go through the clovers, and the green light is lighting up their hands green because I don't think it's supposed to do that. I think that's
I'm obviously in a clover patch. My hands are green. I found the clover patch. So they dig around in the clover patch.
A lot.
And they finally find one. And they go back inside to go hunt him down. But then the kid wads it up in some gum and shoots it.
a slingshot.
Which, to be fair, was set up before.
Yeah, he had a slingshot through the whole movie, and he's like,
And I
hitting
think the
shit.
first time we saw him, he like hit Francis with something.
yeah,
with
in
the
the
sling.
eye.
Well, wait
He
a
almost
minute.
blew his
Let's
eye
back
out.
up for a
Because remember,
second.
he's an asshole. This kid's an asshole.
We've totally left out this whole thread of the movie where he's obsessed with shoes because he's a cobbler.
Oh yeah, that's how they distracted him.
Yeah.
How did we forget that?
How
Because
did
I
we
knew, like, I
forget
thought
that?
there was another time she gets out
Oh
in the
my
Jeep.
God.
So to
That's
get
fucking
away in the
brilliant.
Jeep, they bring the shoes out of the house because that's how they know he's there because he like polished all the shoes and left them on the table.
So that's the good thing that leprechauns do is they polish your shoes and clean them all up for you.
So they take his shoes, all their shoes, and they throw them out of the back of the Jeep to distract him because he wants to pick them all up and fucking polish them.
He has that compulsion.
Yeah, it felt
gotta do
really
it.
problematic.
do it.
It felt like uncomfortable.
It was
So-
some legit OCD shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
There's a lot of stuff that doesn't age very well in this film, which is kind of
like Jennifer
interesting.
Aniston's original nose.
Wow. Wow.
Just kidding.
Well, that and the fact that the kid wants to use the gold to fix his friend's brain.
Oh yeah, he
That's
wants.
so rough.
Well, is that bad, or is it worse that he tells Jennifer Aniston that he knows that they can't really fix Francis's brain, but he wanted Francis to think that?
Yeah, but Francis didn't even want his brain
Wow.
fixed. Francis was like, "Oh no,
What's wrong with my
what's wrong with
brain?"
my brain?"
I'm real
So-
smart.
Yeah, so it was really the kid who wanted his brain fixed, and he was just lying the whole time. He lied to her in her
Again,
face.
Asshole. He's an asshole.
Yeah, that kid's a little fucked up weasel, but he took care of Francis, so whatever.
So the leprechaun's not having any more of this shit. He wants the gold right out of that guy's belly. He actually fucks Francis up pretty bad.
Oh
to
yeah,
try to
he
get
comes
that-
for his face.
Yeah, and while they were scrapping, that's when the kid decides to put the four-leaf clover in his gum, puts his gum in the slingshot. It was actually pretty awesome. I got a way to go. It was pretty cool, and he slingshots that fucker right in the mouth.
Yeah, and so the leprechaun chokes on it and writhes around, exploding in green paint.
melts a la Gremlins and falls back into the well.
Totally Gremlins.
Absolutely.
They're like, we're gonna do it like Gremlins.
Yeah, and then he's got the last. He's not really dead, and then they have to pour a bunch of gasoline down the well and blow shit up. And
Yeah, they blow it up and oh yeah, they keep calling the cops, but they don't believe that there's anybody because Francis said there was a leprechaun. They're like, oh, he's touched, and we can't go up there because he's not right, and they ain't really a leprechaun, but there was.
And then the leprechaun impersonated one of the cops to throw him off the scent. He's a brilliant bastard.
So eventually they show up, and everybody limps off into the sunrise.
We didn't talk about how they removed the eyeball from the leprechaun, and the leprechaun grabbed the eyeball.
He
from
got
the
he got
cop.
he got a nightstick in the eye, in the head, and he was like a zombie. Or like they were trying to get away from him, and somebody pokes him in the eye with a stick, like a nightstick, and apparently they're like softy vampires or zombies, and that stick goes right through his head. So then he goes to I think it was a cop, right?
Yeah.
And he rips his eyeball out and stuffs it back in his own head. There's some gruesome scenes. There's some pretty.
Which I don't know
gruesome
how
scenes.
he got that eyeball to work in his own head because the nerve endings were severed.
It's like that warlock magic.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, there you go. I
remember?
like this
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
True.
He does have some magic, and
He did. It's green neon. He
Yeah.
has green neon magic.
and he can teleport like a motherfucker too,
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yep.
Like NyQuil. Oh, I'm on NyQuil. I see rainbows.
I've
And
never
blue horseshoes
seen
and
any
green
of those
diamonds.
things.
Blue,
Oh, yeah.
blue diamonds.
He looks at the
and
fake
purple horseshoes.
He looks at the fake box of Lucky Charms and says,
that's
"Dad."
right. They have
Johnny pointed that out the other day.
Except it wasn't Lucky Charms. What was it? It was
Lucky Chams?
No,
No.
it wasn't that close. It was something else.
Like
Shamrock Charms or something.
Lucky Farms?
No.
Yeah, something dumb. Obviously, they did not get the rights to that.
So, Patty, I think that this would be a great movie for you to watch to learn about your heritage.
Before we get there, though,
Yeah.
so in my chauffeur, we kind of joke that Penn and Teller's parents like produced the movie because they were in it so much. For this movie, I think the shoe industry of the late '80s funded this movie. It might as well have been like Mac and Me. Like
I mean,
L.A. Gear,
Converse.
Converse, British Knights,
Yep.
Guess miniskirt,
There was
Red Wing shoes,
all the products were there.
and the logos big up on the screen.
Especially LA Gear, man. I saw those
were
LA Gear a lot on
some-
Aniston's feet.
Tight
she couldn't
close-ups.
walk. They were like, "We're gonna film you walking," and she like got all awkward.
Yeah.
I'm hot right now. I'm hot. I'm leaning back into the air conditioning. Pardon me for a minute, guys.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like the director said to her, all right, I want you to walk kind of sexy like. And she's like just totally fucking Jerry Lewising it all over the place.
Yep.
So, Patty, what do you think? You think this might be up your speed a little
Sounds
bit?
like a good one, folks. Sounds like a good one.
I'm glad you both agree.
All
Oh,
right. Well,
Patty.
let us know, Patty, if you don't like it. It's not our fault. We're stupid Americans. We apologize.
Come back and see us.
Will do.
Bye.
Bye.
Tur.
I hope not. I really hope he didn't.
Do you think he thought I was making fun of him if he heard me say that?
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Tur.
That Patty.
I'm going to do that to his face next time.
You should. You should. That would be the best way.
I think it would. Do you think he'll teach me how to speak Irish?
Probably not.
All right, dears, I got this one. It has all these green people on it. It looks like the Blue Man Group, but the green, and they're all naked and weird. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to give it a shot.
What's it called?
Oh, I can't really make it out. I can't really. And
Sometimes those logos.
my
like,
eyes are going. I don't know. It looks like hieroglyphics or
those
something.
graphic designers sometimes.
Well, you know, sometimes
They get
all
all
you.
artsy fartsy on you.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, and you know, sometimes you just want to go with what the pretty box looks like, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Fair enough.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Always a pleasure, Mildred. Oh, guys, what a nice night, huh? What a nice night. Hey, Johnny, are you gonna be okay tonight hosting your Zoom meeting?
I will be.
You know how to set it up and stuff?
I do. I don't know how to get the mute and unmute to switch, though. I have a feeling we're going to spend a lot of time on that.
Well, your rap will save you. That'll be just do another rap. and
Or
be
it'll
fine.
save them. Depends on if the mute button's working. Good night,
All right,
guys.
Let's get out of here.